boys and girls. Today's story is called ABC Rhymes. Now, this story is written by Carl Memling, so he is the author, and it was illustrated by Roland Rodergast and Grace Clark. So this book has two illustrators that did the pictures. So this is ABC Rhymes. Glasses on so I can see. A, I'd like to be an acrobat, an acrobat, an acrobat. I'd leap and vault and somersault and soar from this to that. A is for acrobat. B, I'd like to have a clever bear, a clever bear, a clever bear. I'd teach him a trick on a pogo stick and watch him in the air. B is for bear. There's the letter C. I'd like to paddle a swift canoe, a swift canoe, a swift canoe. I wouldn't fiddle faddle, I'd paddle and I'd paddle straight to Kalamazoo. C is for canoe. D. I'd like to bang a big bass drum, a big bass drum, a big bass drum. I'd go ba-bloom from dawn to gloom until my ears got numb. D is for drum. E. I'd like to ride an elephant, an elephant, an elephant. I'd shout hi-ho and off I'd go and feel so elegant. E is for elephant. Remember that letter? It's an F. I'd like to go on a fishing boat, a fishing boat, a fishing boat. I'd take a look and cast a hook and fish up what's afloat. F is for fishing boat. G. I'd like to be a gondolier, a gondolier, a gondolier. I'd hum a song and as I glide along and everyone would cheer. G is for gondolier. That's the person who drives that little, moves that little boat. H. I'd like to ride a prancing horse, a prancing horse, a prancing horse. I'd hold on tight with all my might and keep him on the course. H is for horse. Okay, remember this letter? That's the letter I. I'd like to live in a round igloo, a round igloo, a round igloo. I'd live on ice and feel so nice and never catch the flu. I is for igloo. Down here we have the letter J. I'd like to saw with a jigsaw, a jigsaw, a jigsaw. I'd sit right down and saw a clown and get a good goof-aw. J is for jigsaw. K. I'd like to meet a kangaroo, a kangaroo, a kangaroo, and I'd decide to take a ride, and there'd be a hullabaloo. K is for kangaroo. And look at him, he's in the little pocket there where the jelly would be. Remember this letter? It's the letter L. I'd like to see a lioness, a lioness, a lioness. I'd hide in the shrubs and watch her cubs, and then go home, I guess. L is for lioness. That's a mother lion. M. I'd like to climb a mountain peak, a mountain peak, a mountain peak, and way up there I'd gasp for air and rest up for a week. M is for mountain. Remember this letter? That's the letter N. I'd like to watch a starry night, a starry night, a starry night. My eyes might ache, but I'd stay awake to watch the velvet sight. N is for night. How about this letter? Remember that one? That's the letter O. I'd like to sail the ocean deep, the ocean deep, the ocean deep. I'd steer by day for Mandalay. By night, I think I'd sleep. O is for ocean. Okay, what letter's that one? That's the letter P. I'd like to play the piccolo, the piccolo, the piccolo. With care I touch the keys and such and blow a tremolo. P is for piccolo. Okay, and that's that little instrument he's playing there. Here's the letter Q. I'd like to meet a lovely queen, a lovely queen, a lovely queen. I'd bare my brow and then I'd bow and share my nectarine. Q is for queen. Okay, here we have the letter R. I'd like to swing a tennis racket, a tennis racket, a tennis racket. I'd take a ball out on the mall, and oh, how I would whack it. R is for racket. And up here we have what letter? That's the letter S. I'd like to hear a seashell song, a seashell song, a seashell song. A song of the sea would play for me, and I'd listen all day long. S is for seashell. You see he's got that little seashell. He's holding it up to his ear. And here we have the letter T. I'd like to climb a cherry tree, a cherry tree, a cherry tree. I'd call my pop and we'd go up for a cherry jamboree. T is for tree. Here's the letter U. I'd like to have a silk umbrella, a silk umbrella, a silk umbrella. I'd open it wide and stand aside to hold it over Stella. U is for umbrella. Isn't that nice? He's holding it over his little sister. And here we have the letter V. I'd like to play the violin, the violin, the violin. I'd scrape and squeak a tune unique and grin through all the din. V is for violin. Remember this letter? That's the letter W. What animal is that? It's a whale. I'd like to grab a great big whale, a great big whale, a great big whale. His watery spray wouldn't wash me away. I'd never let go of his tail. W is for whale. Here we have the letter X. I'd like to have a xylophone, a xylophone, a xylophone. I'd gram a hammer and I'd clamor till all the crows had flown. X is for xylophone. Down here we have the letter Y. Remember what animal that is? That's a yak. I'd like to see a woolly yak, a woolly yak, a woolly yak. I'd stand and stare at all his hair, and the yak would stare right back. Y is for yak. And our last letter is what? Z. I'd like to be a zookeeper, a zookeeper, a zookeeper. I'd lock all cages and calm all rages and even be the sweeper. Z is for zookeeper. All right, so that's our ABC Rhymes book. And now what we're going to do is we are going to do a color code paper, color by letter. So we have this paper here. I'm going to show you the letters that we're going to be working with. Okay, I'll put that right there for now. And these are the letters we're going to be working with on this paper. What letter is this one? That's the letter F. And this one is G, H, I, and J. Those are the letters we're looking for. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. On our paper, okay, move this closer here. In fact, I'm going to move my table a little bit closer also so you can see a little bit better. Okay, is that better? All right, now what we're going to do at the top of our page, let's look at the letters at the top of the page. We're going to color this using the code that's up here on the top. All right, so the very first letter, the very first crayon at the top of the page, whoops, my paper almost slipped. Okay, the very first letter at the top of the page is this letter here. This is the letter F. We're looking for the capital F. Okay, on the capital F, on the crayon there, it says P-I-N-K. Okay, what color is that? That is pink. So let's color this crayon pink. Okay, so this is going to help us so we can know which colors we're going to make different parts of our picture. All right, the next letter underneath that is this letter here. Okay, what letter is that? That's the letter G. And the G is going to be green. Actually, green begins with the letter G. G-R-E-E-N, green. So let's color this crayon green next to the letter G. Right, and the next one down is this letter here. What letter is that? It's an H. And the H is going to be B-L-U-E. What color is that? Blue. Okay, Okay, so color the H crayon blue. And our next letter over here, okay, that crayon, the letter is this, I. Okay, so the letter I, we're going to make that crayon yellow. Color that one yellow. And the last one is this letter right here, and that is the letter J. And the letter J is going to be what color? Brown. Good. B-R-O-W-N is brown. All right, so these are the colors we're going to be doing. Anytime we see the letter F, what color are we going to make it? We're going to make it pink. Anytime we see the letter G, we're going to make it green. If we see the letter H, what color will we make it? Blue. And if we see the letter I, we're going to make it yellow. And the letter J will make brown. Okay, so let's start one at a time. Let's start with the letter F. Okay, here's the letter F. And what color are we going to make it? Pink. So take your pink crayon and let's look all around till we see an F. Okay, is that the letter F? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to color in that space. Now remember, boys and girls, you want to look at your paper and we only want to do one space at a time, okay, because each space is going to have a special color. And here's another F. So what color should we make it? Pink. Okay. So I'll do that one pink. And let's look all around. Do you see any more? Oh, here's an F. You see that down there? Okay, so let's color this one. That pink. And here next to that we see what letter? That's an F also, so let's make that one pink. Okay, do we have any more Fs? No. Okay, all the Fs are done. So now our next letter is what letter? The letter G, and we're going to make all the G's what color? Green. So take your green crayon, and again, we're going to do one space at a time. Okay, so here's the letter G. We'll color this one green. You always want to look at your paper, okay, and you always want to try your very best. Okay. And here's another one. Looks like we have a lot of G's on this page. Okay, so we're going to color that one green. And there's another one next to that. The other day I think we had a lot of greens also, didn't we? And there's a G. Make that one green also. And here's another one. Okay, remember, one space at a time. Okay, because we don't want to accidentally color the wrong color in a space. And here's another G. Let's color that one. And there's a G. Let's color this one. And it looks like we have another G there. Okay, so let's color that G. Make that green. All right, now let's see. Do we find any more G's? Let's go looking across. One there. Oh, here's one down here. Do you see that one down there? Okay, this is going to be green because that's the letter G. But all of our G spaces are going to be green. Green is G-R-E-E-N, green. Okay, are any of you wearing green today? Okay, there's a G. And over here, right next to that, there's another G. Can you see that G? Okay, that's our capital G. Remember, the G makes the G sound like in green. Makes the G sound like in green, and God, and girl, and gum, and gravy. Okay, that's the letter G. And here's another G over here. We're going to color that one green. Can you find any more G's? Yep, here's another one right there. Color that green. And here's another G. Looks like a stem of a flower there, doesn't it? Looks pretty. And here's another G. So this looks like it's going to be the leaf. The leaf on the flower. And down here, there's another G. I wonder if that's for grass. Because grass begins with the letter G. And there's one more right here on the end. Okay. And there we have our G's. And let's just check over our paper real quick. Okay, are there any more? Do you see any anywhere hiding? No. Okay. So now it's starting to look really pretty, isn't it? All right, our next letter is going to be the letter H. And what color are we going to make our H? Blue. All right, so take your blue crayon. We're going to find all of the capital H letters. Remember, H makes this sound. Okay, so here's an H. H is for house, and happy, and heart, and hiccup, and hallelujah. I know, we like that one, right? Okay, there's an H. All right, now let's look carefully because we don't want to accidentally color the wrong space. Okay, here's an H over here. You don't want to color the wrong one, so make sure you're looking carefully. That's an H. Is that an H? No. There's an H right there. So I'm going to color this one blue. Is anybody wearing blue today? And here's blue. That's going to be blue for the letter H. Okay, that one. Now let's see where else we see an H. Here's an H, so we'll color this one blue. Okay, you want to stay right inside your lines and do your very, very best. Okay, can you see any more H's? Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a lot of H's too. So here's another H right there. Color that one blue. And what about that one? Yeah, that's blue too. All right, I like doing color code papers. It's always a surprise how they're going to come out. Sometimes we have an idea of what they're going to look like. Other times it's a complete surprise. Okay, down here, looks like we have what letter? H. Okay, this is going to be this long skinny piece on the side here also as part of that H. So we're going to color in that space. Okay, what's that next to it? That's an H also, so let's color that one. Okay, you see this one here? That looks like the letter H. We'll color that one in blue. This is starting to look really pretty. Boys and girls are doing a great job. Everybody's taking their time, doing their very best. Okay. No, let's go over. What letter is that? H. Okay, so we'll color in here H. And what letter is this one? That's an H also, so let's color in there. And it looks like we've got one more. See this one here? Now this is a little tricky because it kind of goes through that whole little space there. Okay, so this is all part of the H. It's all connected there. All right, so now we have most of our paper done. All right, what do you think so far? Looks good, right? All right, our next letter is the letter I, like for Ivana. All right, so we're going to find this color. What color is that? Yellow. And all the letter I, all the capital I letters are going to be yellow. Now remember, when you're using yellow, you want to do nice and dark, so it makes it nice and bright. Okay? Now, you don't want to break your crayon, of course. If you do, then just ask Mom or your Daddy to tape it for you. Okay, but we'll do nice and dark so it makes it a nice bright yellow. Okay, and here's the letter I to this space. And I can make two different sounds. Remember, it makes the is sound like an iguana, an igloo, and inside. Here's another one here. And into, and it makes the I sound also like an ice cream and ice skates. Okay, so the letter I has both of those sounds. Okay, and here we have another one. This is the letter I also. And here we have a letter. That's an I. And our last one over there is what color? What color are we going to make it? Yellow. Okay, that's the letter I. And what does that look like? Yeah, that looks like the sun, doesn't it? That looks like the sun. All right, now it looks like we're almost done. We have one more letter. And what letter is this one? J for Jason and Jesus. It makes the J sound. Okay, and here we have our J right there. We're going to color that. J for Jason and Jesus, and jam and jelly and jar and jump rope. Okay, and here's a J. We'll color in that one. And we have one last space. And there we have one more letter J. We'll color that one in. And now we have our picture. So what do you think? Pretty, right? We have our sun. And this looks like our tree. And here's a little heart inside the tree there, and a little tulip flower. And here's our grass, and the blue is our sky. Looks very pretty, doesn't it? All right, you boys and girls did a great job. Okay, I'll see you later, alligator.